And we are live. Good morning, South Florida, and hello, world. I am Robert Henderson Jr., the president and CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. Full service financial planning firm. We have clients all over the country, matter of fact, all over the world. Been doing this for over 30 years. We love what we do. Joining me here is my co-host, my brother from another mother, the famous legacy Mr. James Thomas. How you doing, my brother? World famous James
Hey
Thomas.
man, I don't know about all of that, but I know that I came from heaven and God has given me a chance to be an influence, Mr. Henderson,
You
an
sure is.
influence with kingdom culture, understanding the message and the mandate of Jesus Christ. And
Yeah,
brother, hey, it's always a journey, but guess what? That's why we're here to make the journey.
that's right. Make this journey, man, and make a change and spread love and
Ooh,
create creations. We were created. We got to create. And I see you right there behind that switchboard, boy.
oh man, hey Rob,
Doing what you do.
in before six and out whenever.
Boy, I tell you, boy, you creating, James, boy. James, I've been knowing you a long time, man. I've seen you create, man, and give the people what they want. And right now, you working on some stuff, man. You in it right
Mm.
now, man. That's gonna change the world.
Hey, only if he does it.
Changing
Hey,
the
Rob,
world.
like they said, I'm just a tool and I want to be used. So,
Changing the world. You
so
and your
he,
giftedness.
oh man, God is
This
so
is your
good. God
gift,
is so
man. This is
good.
your gift, James, man. This is your gift, man. You've been doing it. Boy, you ask and you receive.
Above and beyond what I can ask, think, or imagine.
Oh man, not just one, not just two, but
Rob,
man, you boy,
time out,
you got to
time
be
out,
careful what you ask for, man. Because
time
boy,
out,
I tell
Rob,
you, man,
time out.
it's something powerful, boy. That having that faith, understanding, and being faithful and being a good servant and being able to wanting and willing and knowing what it's about, creating and serving others, man. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Good health,
Mm,
good wealth, good
mm,
friends. You know,
Oh
that's
man, yeah. Hey,
that's
good friends like yourself.
hey
Hey,
man.
Rob, before you get into your topic today,
Yes.
I have been asked to ask, you know, when people are preparing, you know, as you talk often about the retirement part, when people are saying, okay, I've worked all these years and now I want to prepare, for what they call the better years. You and I, we know we want to continue to do that we love to do it because we don't see it as work.
Right.
We see it as
Right.
purpose. A lot of
Right.
people, yeah, and many have not found that quote unquote purpose that they can just do for life and still find a peace and a joy in doing it. So for those people, Rob, when they can set up for whatever the income is that they're going to need or that they want, and the things that they want to do, I guess the question becomes, where can they find the greatest peace and setting up and preparing for that peace and that joy after quote unquote having worked all those years?
When you say where can they find the
Right.
peace?
Yeah.
Well,
How can they get set up? How can the benefits be set up that they can generate the revenue, not just to meet the bills, or if they own a home or the rent or whatever it is, if they've acquisitioned other things, how do they go about building from that?
yes. You first you got to know the math. You got to know the math. You got to know what all you need in order to give you what you want.
Mm,
You have to understand the numbers. You have to have the numbers, the projection. You follow me? I give you a
mm,
case in point. It was a young lady that came and she says, Mr. Henderson, she said, I'm earning, I'm working every day. I got to get up, fight traffic, but I earn $100,000 a year. And she said that $100,000 a year right now, who I am right now, I'm comfortable. And she said, if I could retire and still get this same $100,000, I could live the rest of my life and I'll be fine, barring inflation. And I said, well, she says, how much I need to save? I said, well, I tell you one thing, and this is cutting right to the chase, telling you right what you need. If you had $1 million, you could get 10% off that $1 million, and 10% of $1 million is 100,000. So now you know if you don't have a $1 million and you have to go out there and earn a living, that means that you have to earn enough to make for someone to pay you $100,000 a year. Now that person, the job, changes, new management comes in, you get fired, you get laid off. If if they sell the business, then you won't have that 100,000 again, because you need somebody, you need to work for somebody to pay you. But there's another way. If you say, okay, I know I need $1 million in order to generate 10%, so I can get 10% of $1 million is 100,000. How can I build that myself where I don't have to depend on man? I don't have to depend on a business. How can I generate that same 100,000? I say, well, okay. Well, I already told you need $1 million. $1 million, I can get you 10%. So you need to figure out how we're going to save $1 million. So now you take your investments, your 401k, whatever you have to do. You working now, you got to save some of it. You got to save $1 million. Now, when you get $1 million, I could put it into an annuity, which is an insurance company. Okay. It's like Social Security, but it's an investment that don't go up and down in the stock market, and it will pay you that 100,000. Now you could rest. Now you ain't got to get up and fight traffic, and that same 100,000 is coming to you. Now, depends on how long it's going to take you to save that $1 million and how you spending right now. If you need to save that $1 million, if it's going to take you 10 years, it'll take you 20 years, take you 30 years. It depends how you spending your money. I know right now you need some money to eat, but you need to put some money away, let it grow, let it accumulate. So if it's going to take 10 years or 15 years to get that $1 million, then we can do it. If you got $500,000 right now in a retirement account, we halfway there. Now we just got to work and get that other 500,000. Now we can get that $1 million. Now you don't need man no more. You can turn on that machine. It's going to pay you $100,000, for the rest of your life, a year. Okay. So that, and that helps me to matter of fact, I want to segue from last week when I told people about this insurance company that's coming out with an annuity that pays you 50% bonus. And I want to clarify that because a lot of people listen to me all over the country and out of the country. And I want to clarify who that annuity is good for, who that annuity is right for. See, James, because you have annuities that pay you right now. In other words, you put money inside of an account, an insurance policy, an annuity, it'll start paying you next month. And some people say, no, I want it to incubate. I want to put it in the crock pot. I want to accumulate whatever I put in there. I want it to be more. So that means you want to get an accumulation. You want it to accumulate. You don't want to take the income right now. You want it to grow. It is right now. You follow me? So when you do that, that's an accumulation annuity. That annuity that I talked about last week, where you put in minimum 20,000. Or if you put in $1 million, they're gonna give you $520,000 on top of your $1 million. If you put in 100,000, they're gonna give you 52,000 on top of it. That annuity right there, I'm gonna tell you who and what type of people and what kind of mindset and what that annuity is for. I'm gonna describe the person for you all, so I don't want to have any misconception or confusion about everybody needs to get that annuity just because it pays you 52%. Now, imagine here's a person. This person right now, cash flow is cash flowing good. In other words, he receiving she getting certain amount of money. It's enough to pay out overhead expenses or bills. It's enough to take care of it. And then she has money to go out to travel, eat, whatever. But she still has money sitting somewhere and she wanted to grow. Let's say this lady is, I don't know, she could be 50 years old. And this lady says that she has money, $100,000, or she could be 60, or she could be 70. And she says she don't need income right now. If she takes $100,000 or 200 or 300 or 400, whatever, if she takes that money now and she says, Robert, I want to get 52% match on this. So she gives me 100,000. The insurance company put 52,000 on top of 100,000, but she can let that sit there for 10 years. That bonus annuity for 52 years, you have to let it sit for 10 years. And if you can't afford or you're gonna need your money sooner than 10 years, then that, even though they're giving you a bonus, is not good for you. I don't care if they're giving you 100%. You put in 100,000, they give you 100,000. You have 200,000. They still say you got to let it set there. You can't touch it. Now, now, when I say you can't touch it, yeah, you could touch it, then they're gonna charge you a 10% penalty. But it's not designed for you to touch it. That's designed for two things: 10 years and out, and then they turn on the income and start giving you monthly payments for the rest of your life. The other thing is designed for what we call legacy. Legacy. Now, what is legacy? It's wealth transfer. Here you got big mama, grandpa, whoever, and you say, listen, I'm doing fine. I'm retired. All this money I get and all this money I have, I mean, I'm just going to leave it for my loved ones. I'm going to leave it for my grandkids. And let's say you got 100,000 or 500,000. And if you know that you're not going to spend it and you got it tucked away because you're going to leave it for the next generation, if for simplicity, if you got $100,000 and you just got it in a CD or you just got it somewhere that you're going to leave why would you leave it there when you pass away? They're going to get 100,000. You might as well transfer from there and put it over here in insurance annuity. When you die, instead of getting 100,000, they get 152,000 right off the bat. So that's what people doing. We have a lot of wealth. People say, Robert, I got $10 million. I ain't gonna spend it because I get money. Let me put this $10 million in that 52% bonus match annuity. Now I got not only 10 million, now I got 15 million that I'm gonna leave for my grandkids and other generations. You see, that's who it's for. It's for that. Or if you say I'm 60 years old and I got other money that I'm working with and that I'm, eating off right now, but here's some money I want to plant. They're going to give me 52% bonus. And in 10 years, then I'm going to start getting income from that. It's kind of like a farmer. You know what I'm saying? There's some crop you plant and, it's ripe in 6 months. There's some you plant and it's ripe in 1 year. There's some plants you plant. There's some seeds that you plant and it ain't ready until 15, 20 years. Like if you plant it, right?
But Rob, you're so right, because many people who are landowners, they're planting pine trees, for instance. They're planting pecan trees, or coconut trees, whatever. And again, so what you're saying to us is that the great investment is planting plus time. Plant plus time. But many people didn't plant in the 80s, Rob. In the 90s, 2000.
They ain't planting now.
wait. But the mindset is, to them, it's too late. But it's never too late to plant. Well, that's my opinion.
Well, James, think about it. James, if you want a pear tree or orange tree, now here you got some orange seeds. Now you eat the orange right now, and you take the seeds and you plant the seeds. Now, when you plant them seeds, it ain't gonna grow into no tree next week because you need an orange. That right there, that tree gonna take 10, 15 years to grow up and root, and then be able to give you more oranges. Okay, now. So I'm going to say that because I have some clients that call and they say, Robert, I heard about that bonus 52%, but and they already have an annuity. See, some annuities are for right now. You give me $300,000 and I put it inside of an annuity. Well, why would somebody put money inside of an annuity? Reason why? Because they want money to grow faster and better than checking account or savings account. And they definitely don't want to lose their money, so they don't put it in the stock market. So when you put it into an annuity, the principal is guaranteed, but it still grows. That's an accumulation annuity. You follow me? You're accumulating it. You're not even ready to eat. And then there's some annuities that say, like this one called an ABC that I like. You give me 300,000 or 100,000 or 500 or $1 million, and you say, Robert, in 1 year, I need to eat off that. You see? Now, that annuity, they may give you 30% bonus, but you have to let it set. No, you don't have to. You could turn it on next month and start eating off of it. So in other words, in life, all of us experience this. There's some things that you need to eat right now. And I'm going to use food because everybody can relate to this. Sometime when your parents, my mom used to cook a Sunday dinner, and she would put some peas on, as she says, some beans on in the crock pot. And she said she gonna let that simmer for, she might do it Saturday, and she may put it on the stove and turn it on low for Sunday's dinner. Here's Saturday now, and she may put it on for Sunday after church. We're gonna eat those butter beans or whatever she got in the crock pot. But remember now, here's Saturday, and she put she invested some peas or some black-eyed peas or whatever, and she did that for Sunday dinner. Here it is Saturday. But Saturday, we ate there's some food you can eat right now. So some investments you eat right now. Some investments you get income and dividends right now to sustain yourself. And then you have some that you going to eat off tomorrow. You're going to wait. There's some you're going to eat off, later on. So what you do is the annuities depends on what you need. That's how we'll give you the annuities. In other words, an accumulation annuity. Now, accumulation, someone says, Rob, here's an annuity that accumulation annuity will grow. You put in 100,000, 200, or 300,000, and let's say it's growing 7, 8, 9% a year. That's pretty good. But you don't need no dividends. You don't need to take no income off of it. It's a tree that's growing, but you don't need to get no fruit off of it because you want to wait until it grows. That's an accumulation. You can't compare accumulation annuity to a income annuity because the income annuity is like a tree that's going to pay you, that's going to produce fruit so you can eat. Now, you could buy a tree that's already producing fruit. That's an immediate annuity. You buy it and it's all that tree, you getting the pears off of you eating the grapes right now. Or you can say, I want to buy an annuity that I can't eat off right now, but I can eat off in 5 years. Is that making sense to y'all? I'm using food, but I'm using different metaphors. Does that make sense to y'all? Are y'all checking?
And check the comment section.
Yeah. Miss the comment says, Miss Redhead said, Mr. James, you look different without purple. That was a comment.
Rob, continue, Rob.
You told me to check the comments. So that 52% bonus that I told you about, the insurance company will match it. You put in $20,000, right off the bat, they're giving you another 50% of that. 50% is 10,000, but another 2% of that, that's 4. So they're giving you 10,400. You put in 20, that's the minimum. And what I like about that annuity is last Tuesday, the 21st, is when it started. You can make your reservations. It ends where you have up until June 21st to make your reservations. Now, once you make your reservation, you don't have to invest any money. You just got a spot. We just got a spot for you, a table for you. Okay, we got a spot for you that says in the next 6 months, you have to commit and put at least $20,000 in there. And then over the next, and once you put the $20,000 in there, you get 6 months after you make your reservations where you can actually put a down payment. And then over the next 18 months, you could put as much money in there and they're going to match at 52% all day long. Now, if you're the type of person that after you put the money in there, 2 years from now, if you need to start getting cash flow from that dividend, that's not the dividend, that's not the annuity for you, because that 52% sounds good. But the drawback is you got to wait 10 years.
10 years.
10 years in order to start eating off of it. See, so and a lot of clients that's retired, a client that retired last year, and I put them in an annuity that they only had to wait 1 year, and 1 year, because whatever they gave me invested, it grew in 1 year. Now it's time, it's ripe now. The fruit is ripe, and they can start receiving income. And then there's annuities that says you can turn on the income anytime you want to. You give me money today, next month you start receiving cash flow for the rest of your life. And some people say, well, I don't need it right now. I want it to continue to accumulate and grow. And in 5 years or 4 years or 3 years, then I want to turn it on. That annuity right there is different from this 52% bonus. The 52% bonus annuities, like I said, think about some money that you don't want, some money that you just want to save, some money that you don't plan on spending. That's what that 52% bonus annuity is for. If you can wait 10 years before you turn on the income, or if you just want to have it for your grandkids, legacy, it's a smart thing to do. A lot of people say, okay, like I said, you have some money for right now, you have some money for later, and you have some money for that you're going to leave to your beneficiaries. You want to leave to your grandkids. That 52% bonus is hell of a good deal, because where else can you get guaranteed? They're telling you what you're going to get. They telling you right there. And then it's growing as 10 years go by. They giving it to you, and 10 years, that money is growing. And then you got 18 months to add even more money to it, and it's going to match, right? The minimum is $20,000. So
and Rob, what you're saying too, I think would speak so, hoping it will speak so loudly to young people or parents of young people.
right.
Yeah, because in most cases, the young people aren't thinking, quote unquote, 5 and 10 years ahead. They're dealing with now.
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
what they're going to do for the summer, where they're going for
Well,
vacation, da 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 da.
not only young people, older people.
Okay, okay. Rob, but for young people, even if a parent or grandparent wants to do something for young people, but it's important that the younger people, whatever their age may be, if they think that I can worry about that later, no, the later does not give you the greater value.
You say you can worry about that later.
No, I'm saying they're thinking, well, we can do that later. We can do that. No. But
Early bird gets the worm.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The greater comes if you would start now in preparing for that, saving for that, or talking with grandparents, talking with your parents to find out, what can I start doing now that will not put a strain on, quote unquote, anybody else, but help me to build my own wealth.
Right. It really is. James, I'm not so sure. The jury's still out on why some people do. I always say there's three type of people. And most of y'all who've been listening to me for over some time, y'all know what I'm about to say. There's people who see. They just came on the planet, man. They came on the planet just having wisdom. They just see. When you tell them something, they just see. They just know. You ask them how do they know to do this? How did you know to do this? They just know. I don't know from past lives or whatever, but they just know. And then you have the second type of person that they know when they're told. When you open up their eyes, when you hip them to something, you say, "Hey, look at it this way," and they go, "Oh man, that's good." That's the second type of person. But James, there are a lot of more than I can see people that you could tell them something. You could show them and they still don't see. So each and every one of us, because no one outside of you can make you. It depends on how you cut. You know, I guess I used to feel bad and ask people, why don't can you? I just told you. Then you, I just told you. Why you don't do what I tell you? Some people just cannot see that. There's a lot of people. I've come to that conclusion. You either have it or you don't have it. You either want to do something or you don't. Nobody can make a man, a woman outside of themselves do anything. I mean, you really can't. I mean, unless you enslave a tool, and you can, enslave them and force them to do that. But inside of their mind, they have independence inside of their mind what you can't touch or you can't get to. But there's some of us just want to accumulate. Some of us is just every dime we get, we spend, and and that has been a habit. That has been a habit from since childhood. And now they 60, 70, 80 years old, and they still just spend every dime they get.
But Rob, and do you find with many people that will come in or call or try to get some kind of idea as to what they can do in understanding financial planning, financial literacy? Have they what's the concept that they have about money? I think that most people think that, hey, I earn, I burn, because I'm gonna keep earning, and they never prepare for saying, well, wait a minute. There's I don't know if it's scriptural, but I'm sure it is, that a portion of all that you earn is yours to keep. Now,
Right.
to keep does not mean, to stash away, or it does mean to use it to plant so that you can use it so that it can create of itself to give you more. And the giving of you more means that, hey, not so much that I got, but I also have an opportunity to be a blessing to others and to be, quote unquote, creative in the purpose that we were created. Because my thing is, oh my goodness, I'm so glad my grandmother taught me that I didn't have to go to school, get an education, get a job. That was not her plan, and she only had a third grade education, but she said, I'm going to teach you how to, and she used the word make money, so you never have to beg a man for a job. Rob, as a third grader, I mean, I couldn't analyze it or whatever, but it was a great thing because she showed, as a third grader, I didn't have a job, but I had money.
Right.
Whether it was $1, $2, $5, $10, whatever. I knew how to earn money. So with that in mind, I could also see that my grandfather was wise enough to have income property. So I would go and collect the monies from the renter. So all of a sudden, I didn't get this knowledge of saying, okay, how do I take what I have and have it earn more for me? And then what do I do with the more that I earn? Because again, you can earn more and spend more and still
That's
come
true.
up having need.
Yeah, but James, but you fit in that second category. I mean, you when somebody told you, when I told you there was money in the walls, you said, that's interesting. That make a lot of sense. See,
Tell me
you didn't.
more. Tell me
Right.
more.
Tell me more. See that's what the scriptures talk about. When wisdom come to you, you can recognize it. You there's an instinct, intuitiveness, a discernment. And some people have it, and some people just blind as bat. They be right in front of them, and they can't see it. They don't understand it. I give case in point. A lady came to me. She's 58 years old. She makes $400,000 a year, and she's a new client. Now I'm spending time with her, telling her to slow down because all she wants to do is play the stock market and get the money fast. She hear about all this social media, people making all this money fast, 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 fast. Now think about this. Now she's 58 years old. She makes $400,000, and she don't have $400,000 saved because she says she just spends a lot of money. She does what she wants to do. She travels, she does, and she just feel like and she's 58 years old, and she that $400,000, she's not in total command of making that happen. What I mean by that, that faucet, that 400,000 could be turned off any day now by somebody else. And I want y'all to think about this. If you're receiving money, you're thinking that you're just doing all that, things change, industries change, people change, businesses change, they get sold. Now, if you spending all of this money that you're making, that's now. You always got to look down the future. You always got to have what they call risk management. What if it stopped? You got to at least imagine all of a sudden, what if you get fired? Or what if you get sick and you can't perform? Which she is she's in the medical field, and she can't perform. Then what happens to her daily habits and what she used to doing? Then she gets depressed. So a forward thinker who thinks ahead will say, okay, I'm getting, this $400,000 a year. I'm 58 years old. I'm not getting younger. I need to plant some seeds where one day I have made some investments that are not going to be risky, that will pay me that $400,000. Not man, not woman, not some company, not some job, but something that I set up. I grew. That's where the thinking. So I'm right now. That's why I am her head, because she wants to take the money that she has and she wants to flip it. She wants to go stocks. She wants to do, she wants to go real fast. And it amazed me that by the time you're 58 years old, somehow you should have did that, done that, made all kind of mistakes, gotten, thinking the wrong thing, looking wrong, thinking that Christopher Columbus discovered America, and by now you should find out he didn't discover America.
And it wasn't Indians. It was it was black people.
I'm saying by the time you're 58 years old, you're supposed to say what you have believed for a long time is not true. And there's no shame in saying, wow, I was thinking this, but that's not true.
But Rob, the key to that too, I want you to go even deeper. If she, by chance, made more money, is she preparing? What can I do with the more that I make?
No, she's gonna spend more.
Yeah,
she's 58. See, now when you 16, I understand. You don't know yet. You don't know how life works. When you're 17, even when you're 21, you don't quite know. That's why these young kids getting all this money, in sports or music, they most of the time they lose their mind, and then later on, when they're about to retire and they can't get another contract, then they say, "Damn, I've been a fool." You know what I mean?
Or injured.
Sometimes it takes that for you to wake up. Got a divorce or whatever. So my point is, she's 58 years old. My job now is going to be psychological and mental with her, explain to her that wealth comes with time, planting seeds. See, as when we were growing up, if somehow we would have been convinced or taught the way the system works, you have to get up and do things so you can earn a living if you don't want to be poor. The goal is to switch places, create something that will make money for you. Now, you could do that by creating a business or inventing something or creating something that's going to serve others and people are going to give you money for it. You understand? You could do that. But if you said, no, you want to work and you have to go out there and work in order to get paid, then you're going to be working all your life, unless you take some of that money and put it in some sort of mechanism, some sort of investment, something that's going to one day start paying you and substitute you from getting up. It pays you the same money or more. Now you can relax and you created something that is going to pay you without you getting out of bed. That's the whole thing. That's what it's all about. When people say they want to retire, people say they don't retire. They want to retire now because they turned 62. What I got to do with anything? Age shouldn't dictate when you retire. Money, cash flow, sustainability, that should dictate when you can retire. Not because you said not because you 65. No, what the hell I got to do with it? 65, the gas, food, everything gonna keep going. You're gonna stop producing and making money, earning money, and you ain't got enough for it to pay your bills, you know.
Rob,
And a lot of people,
that was a good one.
do that.
That was a good one, Rob. You should coin that one. Age does not determine when you're ready to retire.
No, it doesn't. Think about that. You know, girls like, well, hey, I'm 55 years old. I started working when I was 20, man.
Okay.
I'm working 35 years old. Well, if you're wealthy, your spending habits, because you're 55, you don't stop. I'm tired of working. And people talking about Miss Henderson fixed it. I'm tired of working. I ain't working no. I said, well, I'm looking at your finances, and you $1,000 short on that you're gonna need. Well, I said, can you at least go get a Macy's job and work in the jewelry department or get a part-time job? I ain't working for nobody no more. No, we ain't talking about for nobody. We talking for you. We're not talking about you ain't working another job. People say that. And I'm like, well, it's not for nobody. It's for you. Can you go get a part-time job, work at the school or something? Do something part-time where you can get that $1,000. So if you're 55 years old, you can't get Social Security, you can't get Medicare, you got to pay for this insurance. And they have not came up with a nationwide insurance plan yet. They don't care. All the presidents get here, somebody they're gonna come up with an insurance plan. They ain't thinking about you, man. That's all hogwash. No, that the cost of insurance costs a lot of money, man. If you're trying to retire before you get 65 to get Medicare, that stuff costs a lot of money, medical. And that medical stuff can ruin you because they don't play. You go to the hospital for a cold or something, and you come out there and all of a sudden you get bills from this bill, that bill. It's $25,000. Especially if you stay overnight. So planning is very important, man. I mean, you ain't 16 no more. You know what I mean? So my whole point is back to this lady. I have to get in her head, James. She wants to know go fast investments. And then she had the nerve to tell me, well, you know, they say that the average return on the stocks is like 9 to 10% a year. I said, you know, they teach us that in investment school. They say that it's average 9 and 10% a year, average. What does that really mean? When the market's down 20%, your money down 20%. What do you mean, average? It's different between average and actuality, what you get. You understand? Average. That's statistics. That's word games. That's cycle. That's 3-card Molly.
Robert, you talked about that last week because if what you had dropped 20% and the market goes up 20%,
you still down.
You still down.
Yeah.
That's a jewel. Yeah, because they don't know it's the 20% of what you have left after the first 20% loss.
Right. And they start talking about average over 5 years. This was the return. That's a 3-card. That's magic. You know what I mean? Them lies. That's not true. That's not actuality. And then a lot of you all have your money in your 401k. You left the job and you still have your money in the old 401k and you watching the money go up and down, up and down. Why would you do that? You don't control nothing. The money you have, you should control. It's nowhere in the world out working for that. Some people don't work for 3 jobs and left their retirement money over there, and now they over here working somewhere else. No, that's being derelict of your responsibility. You're supposed to say, no, let me roll my money over. If you don't know how to do it, call 305-825-1444. We'll do it free of charge to roll it over. Don't cost. We'll tell you the paperwork. We roll it over and you put it somewhere where it's going to grow and it won't go up and down. You can't have your money going up and down. And you talking about retirement.
And Rob, you can going back to what you started the program off with, if they were still going to be working and needed income, you can put it in something that within a year they could withdraw from that money that was rolled over.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You can start getting income. And if you had two retirements, you start one right now, and the other one you say let this stay in the crop pot. See, we all know that we need to eat for survival. And it's different type of things to eat. You don't all have to eat sugary stuff. You know that's bad. The sugary stuff to me, even though it tastes good, the pies and cakes and whatever, to me that's like the stock market. It could be sugary because the market that thing go all the way up, and then come all the way down. And some people just addicted to doing that. Maybe you can have some money there, but the bulk of your money, you can't have it going up and down. You got to have it where it's going to be paying you income or it's going to be safe. Now, if you need it for income, then turn on the income and start getting it every month so you can have a nice cash flow. All annuities I start telling you all are not the same. One guy said, Mr. Henderson, you put me in this annuity and it's not growing a whole lot. I said, because it's designed from when you get a certain age to pay you a whole lot of money. You don't have to worry about it growing. It's going to grow on the back end like a pension. And then when you get to a certain age, it's going to pay you. You can't compare that with the stock market, an annuity that accumulates, because an annuity that accumulates, they're not looking to pay you income. They're looking at just, you put in 100,000, it grows 6-7% a year. You keep it in there 5 years or something. Then that 100,000 is 130,000, 140,000, and then you take it out. That's a different type of strategy. All annuities are not designed to do the same thing. It's just not. It's like I don't like variable annuities. Why I don't like variable annuities? Because stockbrokers and investment advisors make more money off a variable annuity because it's in the stock market. It's volatile, and there's a lot of fees. The average variable annuity, you don't pay it, so you don't think it's being paid, but it's coming out of your account anywhere from 3 to 4% annually. You don't see it, so you're thinking that, hey, you ain't paying it. It's coming out of your account. A lot of those fees, that could be going back into your account. That could be accumulated. When you get a fixed index annuity or just a fixed annuity, then there is no fees. Depends on how it's designed. Now, there's another annuity that I like, and it's called a MYGA. That annuity, if you put in, let's say, $500,000 or even $100,000 or even $20,000, it says it pays you 5%. Now, when you get a MYGA, there's two ways you can do it. You can say, James, you can say, Robert, here's $200,000. The principal ain't gonna never go down. It's gonna earn 5%. So $200,000 earning 5%. That means it's earning $10,000 a year. You could say every year, let them put that 5% onto that 200,000. So that's like 210,000. Then the next year, I'm gonna get 5%. Not on 200,000, but 210,000. That's compounding. You follow me? And the next year, I'm gonna get 5% on top of that, 220 or 223, because now it's compounding. I'm getting 5%. And in 3 years, just give me all my money back. You follow me? Or you can say, in 5 years, just give me all my money back. All right. Or some people say, Rob, here's $200,000. It's earning 5% per year. This annuity says it's going to pay you $10,000 a year, but you put in 200,000. 200,000 times 5% is $10,000. You could say, Rob, I know they're paying me $10,000 a year, but I don't want them to keep the $10,000. Keep my 200,000 safe where I can't lose it. But that 5%, I want them to send that to me. Well, it's $10,000 a year. So 10,000 divided by 12 months, they're gonna send you $833 per year. Excuse me, per month, because that's $10,000 a year. Now your 20,000 is gonna be safe. It ain't gonna diminish, it ain't gonna go up because the interest you taking, you eating off of it right now. So you give them 200,000 and you say 5%, the 5% is 10,000. You say, just keep my 200 and I want to eat off that. You know, that's James, that's like having a tree that ain't going to grow no more. But every year it's going to produce mangoes. And you're going to take the mangoes every year and you're going to sell them, or you're going to eat them, or you're going to make some mango pie. But you know that tree is going to be there. Come rain and shine, because it's deeply rooted. And you eat up that tree and you will get one. So that's 200,000. If you say I only got 100,000 and I'm getting 5%, and then you say, now after 5 years, or after 3 years, or after 2 years, I'm gonna take my tree and I'm going. Or I'm gonna take my.
But like Rob, and when people do that, we pray that they have a plan rather than just saying, "I'm gonna blow that money, spend that money," or what am I investing it in? That's what I love. I love to say when monies come in, I want to put it someplace else that it produces of itself. Okay, in another investment, and whatever the entity is that I'm invested in, that too is going to be growing and producing of itself income and greater value because of time.
Right. Well, there is something that give you both. You put the $200,000 in there, they pay you 5%, okay? Or you say don't send me the 5%, don't pay me the 5% because I don't want to pay any taxes. So they'll take that 10,000 and keep it inside the plan. It's growing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years, you just say, give me all my money back. It didn't deplete. You ain't lose a penny. And that's, you have to have a mindset. I like that better than somebody having $200,000 in the stock market. And then they say, pay me 5%, which is 10,000. And then the stock market drop. Now your 200,000 is worth 190,000, and they paying you 5%, and you taking it, and then it's worth 200. It's 180,000,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still taking out more money. You know, I like that better. The annuity that the principal stays the same and pays you. I like that better. You know, I really do, because now you don't lose anything, never lose any money. It's more safer. You know, I mean, it really is. So people don't understand all these different investments that can really help them. They're tools. They're just tools, and they change the names to confuse people. But they're just tools. They all still fit into simple equations.
Well, Robert, I got 3 minutes. Hey, I haven't stopped working yet, Rob. I'm not retired. I'm not retired
You
yet.
doing what you
So
love.
just in case, I'm gonna hang with you. But like I said, if I go out, I'm out.
I got you. I know you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know?
But again, we encourage people to give you a call, and that's where it starts. And man, I have people that have been with you for years that I've recommended, and they're always calling and saying, "Hey, man." As a matter of fact, when you spoke about it last week, at least 2 or 3 people called me and said, "Hey, man, what was that thing that Robert was talking about?" Where I said, call the number. What's that number, Rob?
305-825-1444.
Right.
305-825-1444. And I'll tell you which one is a good plan for you. It
For
depends
you.
on
Oh, that Rob. That's what is the plan for you? Every plan is not for everybody.
right.
Yeah.
Every fruit tree is not for everybody.
I mean, because some people, they say I can't eat mangoes because I get whatever rash or itch or whatever.
Right.
I'm allergic. I'm allergic to mangoes. I'm allergic to coconuts.
But you can eat apples, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or you can eat oranges. There's orange tree, you know.
So we really do want our listeners out there and to pass the word, always to pass the word, share, because of the fact that we're both on Facebook and on YouTube. So it's going to be really important for you to share with others that you're getting, so that you can be a blessing to somebody else.
Yes, yes. Next week, James, I'm gonna be out of the country. I've been invited to a top producers, top advisors, uh, financial planning strategy. Every time I go to these plans, these strategies, these meetings, man, I always come back with a whole lot of information and change my whole viewpoint on a lot of things. It really does, and it helps. Just different tools. It's like going to a convention that let's say if you was a gardener or if you're a mechanic or whatever field you in, you go into a convention and they telling you about all the new improved gadgets that you can use to help you with your work, So I go to these workshops, I go to them, I be invited, and we have a full day of just learning, and it's from A to Z, from taxation to estate planning. And speaking of estate planning, those of you all, I'm telling you, man, I just read that only 10% of Americans have some sort of power of attorney or healthcare directive, you know, and especially if you're single, and you're adult and you don't have any kids, if something happens to you, you need power of attorney, to someone that's going to help go into your bank account or talk to your employer or find out what you're entitled to. If you're in a coma or you got dementia, I mean, only 10% of people have this kind of power of attorney somewhere, or their family member, a child, or someone they can speak for them, or even the healthcare directive. If you go to the hospital, or should they give you prolong your life? Should they put you on machines or not? Or should they give you blood? You know, a lot of people don't have that, and they say that's one of the biggest mistakes that we can make in our whole life is not being prepared, or not having these essential documents. And at the Henderson Financial Group, we have the documents. We prepare 'em. We work with attorneys, and they give us the forms to give to you. So you really do need to have not just a will, but you need to have and understand what a living trust is. And a lot of times, it's too late, because when Big Mama or you are unexpectedly get in a car accident or something happens, or all of a sudden you have a stroke, my as a matter of fact, I got to call him today. My sister just told me that my stepbrother was driving a car in Wisconsin and had a stroke, and now he's in intensive care. And he's in his 50s. And I don't know. He's not married. He have kids. So I gotta see about that. We don't know what's going to happen, but you got to be prepared. And for me telling you this and you listening to this now, remember I told you there's three type of people that just know, people that know when they told. Now I'm telling y'all, so you can't say nobody told you. I'm telling you. And then you have the people that you can talk to them to the blue in the face, and they just won't do it. They just won't do it. And we all know people like that. Every last one of us know people that fit in all three categories. They just know they sharp, they about their business, they own it. And then people that, when you tell them, they say, okay. And we all know people who just, you can talk to them to the blue in the face, you can keep telling them, and they can't hear you. You sound like wah 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 wah. That's all they hear. But I'm telling you, you need to call the 305-825-1444. Call me, and I can help you with the living trust. I can help you with the power of attorney. I can help you with the healthcare directive. You need to have this, even if you're husband and wife, because a lot of times, there's a lot of married couples. They like roommates now. They've been married and they like roommates. And he want this and she want that. He says he want to be cremated. She says she want to be buried. I mean, when you fill out, when you do the living trust, we can knock that out, man. I mean, the attorneys knock it out. They have stuff that you can knock it out in an hour and a half.
Fantastic.
I'll send you the link. But that's something that I've been seeing, that people don't have. You need to have that. You know, if you have any assets, if you have a bank account, because let me tell you something, if all of a sudden you can't talk, or if you can't not function and you have money in them banks, you got to go to court. Somebody got to go to court, and you can't go to court by yourself. Now you got to get a lawyer. Now they're gonna charge you whatever they want to charge you. Okay. And you got to have the money, or you got to go bag for the money. I don't know, you know.
Hey, gotta go.
All right, my brother. All right, my brother.
Must not kick me out, and then you can finish up these last
All right.
5 minutes. Hey,
All
much
right, go
love
ahead.
to everybody. God bless.
Do your thing. Do your thing. All right, James is gone. He's working on assignment, man. I'm telling you something, man. And I probably in the next month we're gonna explain to y'all what James and I have been working on for over a year. Probably about next month. We're gonna explain to y'all. Y'all gonna be surprised, but y'all gonna be involved too. Okay. So I want y'all to stay tuned. We're doing some wonderful, wonderful things, but it's all about sharing love and information for people. So you're gonna love it. We'll share it with you. Like I said, we've been working on it for over a year, and now it's coming to fruition. So I just want to say, I love you all. I hope you guys learned something about this annuity thing. And like I said, it's different type of annuities. You know, there are annuities for now, there's annuities for midterm later, and there's annuity for legacy. Legacy is that 52% bonus, or if you can wait 10 years and then start receiving income. That's why they give you a 52% bonus. They have one and they give you a 30% bonus that you can get money right now, or you can get money when you want to get money. You don't have to wait 10 years, and they'll start paying you guaranteed income for life. And when you retire, let me tell you something, there's nothing better than guaranteed income. That's why people like Social Security. Don't let them fool you when they're talking about Social Security going to run out. They always said, they've been saying it ever since I've been in the industry. And it's over 30 years, 40 years. They've been saying it because they like to scare you like the boogeyman coming or Halloween, you know. They ain't going to do nothing. Social Security is going to be around. They may change it, but it's going to be around. And they definitely not going to mess with the people who are 60 years old, 62 years old and over. If they change, it's going to be because people are living younger, young kids. They may change it if you're 21 years old, you know, time. But listen, don't let them fool you about the country running out of money. Let me tell y'all something. All the nations in the world, United States create their own currency, and it's the number one currency. And they got all this talk saying, hey, man, you know, the U.S. ain't going to be the currency. You know, the dollar is always the dollar. That's just the way the system set up. And let me tell you something. If they try to do something different and not use the dollar and not have it as strong, you know, the United States is the greatest country, I would say, but they make themselves the greatest country. All right. It's the greatest country because they make sure they're the greatest country. If you try to be the greater country, then you got trouble. The U.S. don't play. They got more bullets, more guns. I mean, they got, I don't know how they're talking about volunteering soldiers and going out there fighting, putting boots on the ground. Y'all know they got bullets that shoot around corners. How you gonna hide from that? Drones. Now that's not fair. You out there talking about you going out there and be on the front line. Woo, Lord Jesus, you ain't got a chance, and they know it. Not with technology the way it is right now. I pray for the people who volunteer, men and women who go to the military fighting for the country. But it's you know, that's a whole nother story. I don't want to get into that. But listen, if you want to learn more about what you can invest in, what's right for you, what plan is right for you, that's what we specialize in at the Henderson Financial Planning Group. We specialize in analyze your situation, diagnosing, and saying exactly what would work best for you according to what you want to do. Everybody don't think the same. Everybody not on the same path. Okay. But you need to at least get an examination. And we ask you to give us your data. It's like having a GPS. You know, the reason why GPS works good and a lot of us use it is because it can help you avoid traffic and accidents. It can give you different routes. You know, even though you know the way how to get somewhere, you put it in your GPS, it'll tell you, no, go the other way because you can't see the satellite can see that there's been an accident that way. So it's information, and it's all about information. That's why we ask you, if you want us to help you, tell us where you are right now, because the GPS can only help you if it know where you are and where you want to go. But always It can tell you how to get there, but first it needs to know where you're starting from. Are you coming from the west or the east? Are you coming from the south? And you have to say where you're starting from. So doing financial planning, you have to know where are you right now. It's the same concept as when you go to a doctor or a dentist. They need to take blood work. You know, they need to find out if your kidneys functioning right, if your cholesterol, is your blood pressure. That's why they always take your blood pressure. You know, to me, taking blood pressure is like a car running hot. If your blood pressure is high, it ruins the whole car. In other words, if the car is running hot, it can ruin all parts of the whole motor. It really can. So that's why you need to analyze your situation, diagnose. A lot of people say, listen, I need this, I need that. No. We can't just give you something, which a lot of people do. A lot of the wirehouse investment houses, you tell them, I want this, and it might not be good for you. And then they don't even know if you're taking some medicine, they give you this medicine and they counteract, and all of a sudden you have a stroke or a heart attack because nobody is talking to, all the doctors don't talk to each other. When it comes to financial planning, we need to know exactly what are you trying to do so we can help you get there. And it makes a lot of sense, right? If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. And if you don't have time, listen, if you don't have time to sit down to get your own financial house in order, how you want somebody else to care? You should care about, you should stop, sit down, clean out your done closet, get rid of some of them old clothes because you ain't wearing them. You follow me? Same principle. And you feel better. It's the same thing about estate planning. You single, or even if you married, you need to sit down and say, listen, let me get my stuff together. Nobody wants to die, but none of us can get off this planet alive. We can't. The Creator created us for it to be a beginning and there is an ending. That's it. So you want to try to make the best out of this life that you have, and you want to be responsible. Like I told you, there's 3 types of people. Which one are you? One that just automatically see, or one that see when you're told? I hope you see when you're told, but there's so many as far as the eye can see. You know, them old movies when they see the soldiers fighting 300 or whatever, like thousands or whatever. There's so many people as far that you can talk to you until you're blue in the face and they still cannot see. I pray for you. Listen, I'm out of time, but call me 305-825-1444. You can also go to our website at www.The Henderson Financial Group, www.The Henderson Financial Group. Also share this with someone because, sometimes people just need to hear. They need to say, and think outside the box. All right. Listen, I love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Be safe. I won't be here next Saturday because I'll be at a conference. It's out of the country too. But I'll be back here the following Saturday. All right. So this you can always go back and look at this show because it's on Facebook and it's on simultaneously. It's on YouTube also. Much love. Call 305-825-1444. Gotta go. Be safe. Peace. One love. Hope you learned something today. Really do. Because it's all about learning. I get my blessings when you learn something. I get more and more information. The Creator gives me more and more information to share with his people. Love you. Peace. Gotta go.